at the end of the day, they don't let their emotions happen naturally.
Yeah.
They almost know what is the right emotion to feel at this moment to be perceived a certain way, and they follow suit.
Right.
For the Virgos.
Right.
Okay. What's good, you guys? It's your girl, Sarah.
I'm Maya.
And we're charmed and dangerous.
You know, because we be charming.
And we be dangerous. And we be charming. And we be dangerous. And we be charming. And we be dangerous. And when it's Virgo time, we be meticulous.
Yes. Very meticulous.
Quite.
Particular.
Let's talk about the most particular moon sign of the zodiac.
Yes. Okay, so to me, Virgo moons are obviously intellectuals, and like you said, their ability to dissect, manage, and consider the tiniest of details is really unparalleled.
Yeah.
And they are great problem solvers and organizers, and obviously them being ruled by Mercury, they just have this very methodical approach to challenges, and they're always seeking like logical solutions to their problems.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. I feel like Virgo moons are what people think Virgo suns are. And, you know, when you think of Virgo moons, these are actually the Virgo placements that are calm, cool, and collected within. Whereas Virgo suns come off that way, but tend to be a mess internally. Virgo moons are organized internally. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. I've noticed Virgo moons are much more like the Virgo archetype of being calm, cool, and collected than Virgo suns are.
Yeah.
And, you know, Virgo moons are one of the most grounded and super hard-working signs, placements in the zodiac. And, you know, their desire to be highly skilled in whatever it is that they're pursuing and whatever it is that they're spending their time on is honestly what differentiates them from all the other zodiac signs, moon signs. They are the type to practice in private so that their work can speak for itself when it is presented to the public. They don't allow distractions to dictate their life, and your moon sign placement is a very personal placement. So if you are disciplined when it comes to your work ethic and it ties into your emotional state, when those two things combine, really no one has the power to take away your motivation for life.
No.
Because your emotions want to make you work harder.
Yeah.
Your internal world wants to work harder.
Yes.
Because that's what makes you feel safe.
Yes, they literally find comfort in the routine of those things, you know? And it's like the main thing that brings them stability. So you'll find that Virgo moons, they all have that one thing that, you know, they're really like passionate about, or they do like to the nines, you know what I mean? Like they're really about that life, kind of, so to speak. Like they don't do it half-assed,
Like,
you know what I mean?
about that life?
I am into that life. Exactly. I feel like these individuals have this like unwavering focus on their goals, and it's really admirable. But sometimes it has its negative sides to it too, you know, like it can turn into self-doubt and overthinking, and sometimes like coldness as well. And I want people to, you know, if you have this placement, to be wary of that too. Like you can't just be overly analytical and like logical towards everything, right? Like emotions need to feel, you know, and I feel like sometimes this placement can struggle with that sometimes.
I agree. I just want Virgos to remember that there will always be a mess to clean up, literally and figuratively. It's a part of life. It's a part of life's cycle, and a state of pure perfection ceases to exist. Like that's not possible, that's not attainable, and you just have to be okay with that and stop trying to prevent yourself from being happy just because everything isn't perfect yet. You're almost like living life in such a robotic way where, okay, now you get a treat. Okay, perfect, you fixed that problem, okay, now you get a treat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have, life isn't a video game. You know what I mean? And I feel like because they're so hardworking and service oriented, like that's their nature, this moon sign has no problem keeping busy instead of dealing with these ugly emotions. But if and when you do come across a lazy or lifeless Virgo moon, they are operating at their lowest vibration and have probably drowned in all the emotions they used to file away.
Yeah.
You know, something must have happened where they couldn't just hide in their work anymore, and their emotions poured out, and that is why they're at this state of laziness right now.
Yeah.
And I just want Virgo moons to understand that, you know, you should deal with emotions as they come, because I promise you, when the tsunami comes, it can't be controlled.
Right.
You know, so don't let your emotions creep up on you, because that's what really scares you. It's because you haven't done it in so long, and now you almost forgot how to deal with emotions.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, you learn a lot from your sister sign. Pisces moons embrace the chaos. So I'm not saying embrace the chaos, because that is not you. Embrace the chaos once in a while.
Yes, and like bring maybe some routine even to how you deal with your emotions. Like, okay, you know you like to avoid them, well then set up once a week where you focus on them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
like bring some organization so you feel comfortable, where when the wave comes, it doesn't hit you as bad because you've been dealing with it a little bit, like, you know, like Sarah said. And I feel too that like they can just, their want to be perfect all of the time, it really keeps them from being able to fully experience life. You know what I mean? And I think that their fear of these messier feelings, like, and not being able to be perfect, like, it doesn't match with sometimes like how they're actually feeling. Does that make sense? Like they're wanting to be logical, but their feelings are being irrational.
Yeah.
And then they're feeling like a discongruence inside.
For sure.
And I want you Virgo moons to know that you don't always have to be so self-critical of yourself or of others. Like once you learn how to integrate your emotions more in with your logical sense, like you will find a happier balance.
Yeah.
You know?
At the end of the day, they don't let their emotions happen naturally.
Yeah.
They almost know what is the right emotion to feel at this moment to be perceived a certain way, and they follow suit. And that's just not normal. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you sound like you're crazy, but that's not normal human behavior.
You're not living in the present
I'm
moment.
only saying that because it's hurting you ultimately. Like, who gives a fuck if you come off angry? Who gives a fuck if someone thinks, oh, now they're angry? Like, like who cares? You are not your emotions, and I feel like that's what it is. Virgos, you know, it comes back to the fact that Virgos are known to be some of the most judgmental people ever, and including Virgo moons in that. I'm including Virgo moons in that. But you guys only judge other people that much because you judge yourself that much. Yeah. So because they're so judgy when other people have extreme reactions, you know, that's the energy they hold
for themselves.
And you know, your need for perfection heavily affects your mood, aka your emotions. And again, since perfection doesn't exist, you're almost always searching for it. And while you're doing that, you're not living your life, because now you're so focused on how you can solve this problem, you don't even notice all the beautiful things that are happening in front of you, and that problem is long gone.
Yes.
You know, who cares about that problem?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, that's why I mentioned that Virgo moons will fit the typical Virgo aesthetic more than the Virgo suns. They strive to be organized and will stick to their routine above all in order to feel happy with themselves.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I feel like sometimes you hear of the Virgo archetype that, you know, they're lacking that spontaneity because they aren't able to enjoy and live in the moment and like just not overanalyze and be who you want to be in that moment. You know, I think that they can sometimes really struggle with that. And kind of like you were saying earlier, like they treat their emotions as something that needs to be handled rather than something that should be felt and experienced and can eventually be let go of, you know? But it's like, oh, this is such a chore. Like, I hate that I feel this way.
I know.
And it's like, yes, we all feel that, but like, do you allow yourself to actually feel it rather than like, gosh, it doesn't make sense that I feel this way. I shouldn't feel this way. Like, well, but you do. Yeah. So give yourself some grace.
Because feelings are not tangible, I feel like Virgo moons especially feel like they're a waste of time. Yeah. In order for me to, okay, process this and feel this, well, in that time I could have done this. So I'm just gonna put it on ice for now. And when it becomes a big enough issue, then I'll deal with it and problem solve. Yeah. What you don't understand is that when you don't feel emotions as they come in that very moment, when you decide to revisit it later on, you've attached so much more to that emotion because you let it simmer. How much more flavor does a dish get the longer it simmers? A lot more. A lot more. Think of that as your feelings. The more you're letting it simmer instead of dealing with it, the more it is filled with all of these attachments to it that weren't there at the beginning of when you felt that emotion.
Yes. And it's almost like you can, again, because they have this over-analyzing, overthinking nature, you will build things up that aren't even true. I hate to say it like that, but you can make a situation way worse than it actually is, than rather if you would have asked the question or dealt with it. But sometimes the sign can be very avoidant because they want things to be perfect, because they want it to go a certain way, because they want to present a certain way. And just open the can of worms, baby.
Yeah. And I mean, to bring it back to a positive note, I do feel like because also they are good at compartmentalizing, this is why they're the hardest workers I know. This is why they're so calm, in the midst of chaos, and they're able to get shit done. Yeah. More than a lot of other people, I feel like they show up and they get it done. And again, all I want to preach in life is that balance is important when it comes to working and rest. But I will say their ability to be responsible is what makes them stand out to me. You know, they really take their responsibilities seriously, and their self-discipline is also unmatched. I would say as unmatched as Capricorn's. And even besides that, when it comes to their personal life, I feel like they show up responsibly in any and every relationship and rarely do anything half-assed. Like, they are out here trying, giving you their everything. Although it may seem that maybe they're not as emotional, but you know, they're just not expressing it, they are trying their absolute best to be everything that they can be for you. Whether it's in a relationship or a project or a job, like whatever it may be, they take things seriously. They like when people depend on them because they know they can show up. And they also have high standards when it comes to their expectations of you, but only because, again, they hold themselves up to those standards. So that's something that I really do admire about them.
No, I 100% agree with you. I honestly think that there is a simplicity to Virgos that I really appreciate, because life can be really fucking complicated sometimes. And when you speak to your Virgo person, they're like, well, this is how you solve it. And to them, it's very matter of fact, very black and white. And yes, while sometimes that can be frustrating, to me, that's something that's really beautiful, because they can, like you said, then focus on very easily focus on a specific goal and put a lot of passion and energy behind that. And I feel like, you know, your Virgo moon, like, they may not be the loudest lover in the room, you know, but they are going to be your biggest supporter, and they may not be showing like big displays of affection, but know that they are probably like the most kind-hearted and loving people, and they're just quiet, you know, and their dedication and care is certainly felt through how they consistently show up for the people that they care about, you know. And I feel that Virgos really do have a natural like caregiving aspect to them. Like, they want to take care of people, and I feel like the people in their life see them as those support pillars, you know. And they love to do that and provide for the people that they really care about, you know.
I always think that Virgos are the type of energy where you don't notice how essential it is to your life and your routine or your project until it's gone. It's not the most showy way of being affectionate, or, you know, they're not the type to want to show up and show out and get the attention and be like, look what I do, look what I can do. Right. But when they're gone, they're the first thing that you notice that is gone, because they were creating this seamless energy in whatever it is that they're contributing to you and to your life. Yes. And you're almost like, what? I had no idea you were the one that was keeping this whole thing together. Right. Right. Chances are it was a Virgo moon that was doing that.
Facts. And I feel like I love that, you know, they bring such structure and order to the people that they love around them's like lives. And I don't want people to be confused that this sign isn't just all about like work and no play, you know, because when this sign feels very safe, they love to play, you know, like they want to come out and feel vulnerable and be supported and like taken care of too, you know? But they won't ever show you that side if they don't feel they can trust you to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
And I mean, it's a Mercury ruled moon sign, so they love to feel mentally stimulated. But first, the to-do list must be done.
Right.
Otherwise, they do not have the capacity to be having fun because they're running through that shit in their head of what needs to be done. So, you know, it is what it is.
All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode on Virgo moons. We hope you enjoyed. If you're a Virgo moon, let us know if we missed something on your personality that you feel is key. Okay.
Yes, comment it down below.
Yes,
we're gonna link
we
our
wanna know.
socials somewhere over here. Don't forget, we post our astro videos every Tuesday and our podcast video every Thursday. If you haven't subscribed already, now's a great time to do that.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.